I spent about an hour on each of these drawings, and in this video, I'll share methods to help you draw faster too. Hi, my name is Oyun Orka, a VTuber who tries to draw, and for today, I'll run a timer for 1 hour and draw a rough illustration within this time frame, while also discussing methods that you can use to draw quickly. Since the clock's ticking, let's get straight into method number 1, which is understanding fundamentals. So drawing is like any other skill. If you're taking a long time, it's either because the task you're doing is very complex, you're a beginner and unfamiliar with things, or both. Let's use an analogy here. If you don't really know the fundamentals of cooking and try to make something without following a recipe, even something simple might take a long time and not turn out right. But if you follow either a recipe or learn from someone who already knows how to cook, or just understand the basic cooking temperatures and methods, even without experience, you can usually make something that tastes at least okay and have an easier time cooking as well. Of course, just like with art, for very complex things, pros will still take their time too. But for beginners, it's good to first understand the basics and start with something simpler. So instead of jumping straight into trying to learn every muscle and bone, it may be helpful to first start off with simpler shapes like wooden mannequins, and then gradually moving on to complex anatomy and fundamentals. But if you need more structure and really want to learn basic fundamentals, and don't know where to start, then you're in luck thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. If you're wanting to learn figure drawing, this course on 3D figure drawing from Wing Canvas is a great introduction on breaking down the body into simplified forms, and includes breakdowns on how to analyze 3D forms to improve your figures, starting with the torso. Or if you're up for a challenge and want to improve your fundamental anatomy skills in under a month, you can follow along the 28-day drawing challenge, Anatomy for Illustration and Comics by Jaza. And if you're wanting to learn more about stylized character drawing techniques, the Character Illustration Drawing Faces, Figures, and Clothing class by Gabriel Piccolo is a fantastic, information-packed resource on how to draw a stylized character. It includes figure drawing exercises, basic posing, characterization, and more. So if you're interested in learning on Skillshare, the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today! Moving on, the second method that you can use to speed up your drawing pace is through visualization. So before jumping straight into drawing anything, if you want to be fast and make the most efficient use of your time, it's helpful to first visualize what you're going to draw before you even draw it. Of course, if you're having trouble visualizing things very specifically, it's also helpful to draw thumbnails before starting as well. While this may take some extra time, it can help you plan out what might work or might not work for your drawing, whether that be for pose, composition, or anything else, and save you time in the long run. Here, you'll see me drawing out some rough thumbnails and sketches before I commit to one I really like. Since we have a time limit here, I'm not going to be stressing too much about the details and the refinement either, which leads us into our third method, doing timed practices. Somewhat early into my digital art journey, I remember seeing an artist I really looked up to post a drawing that they did in 15 minutes, and I was super amazed at the quality and color of the drawing, given the time limit. I also wanted to reach that level, so I started to also do timed 15-minute drawings, before eventually deciding that my skill wasn't good enough and expanding on that to give myself 30 minutes instead. Doing time practices for 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, or even 15 minutes helps so that with the time limit, you're challenging yourself to start and finish that drawing within that time frame. It's also helpful because there's lower expectations with a drawing that only takes a certain amount of time, so it allows you to embrace mistakes and then learn and grow from them quicker instead of constantly redrawing the same few lines for 10 minutes. It's also helpful for people with busy schedules who also want to draw. If you have school or work, or are busy with other commitments, it might be daunting to try and cut out a large, unknown chunk of time to draw something. But if it's only for a set amount of time, say 15 or 30 minutes, you can just draw for that amount of time and then get back to other things. This doesn't have to be your next masterpiece. The goal is to just draw. Another way that you can speed up your drawing process is through method 4, which is finding shortcuts. So this could be in the form of pattern brushes for tree leaves, using auto actions to quickly add effects, or even using rough strokes to give the impression of detail from far away. If you're using Clip Studio Paint, there are also a ton of great resources that you can download from the Clip Studio Paint Assets store. You can try downloading a few that catches your eye, finding what you like, and then incorporating that into your drawing process to speed it up or just to add some detail. And finally, for the last method to draw quicker, it's also the simplest method, which is just draw. It might seem obvious, but if you're not actively drawing, you will take longer on the drawing. scrolling endlessly through Pinterest for one more reference, checking your phone every time you get a notification, hovering your pen over your tablet as your attention is mostly on that one YouTube video essay that's probably more of a distraction than you want to admit, means you're not drawing. And if you're not drawing, you can't finish. So if you want to finish your drawing faster, just focus. I'm sure you have an idea and a concept that's uniquely yours. It's just inside you, so draw it out. And with that, we finished our final illustration in under an hour with some time to spare. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would appreciate if you give this video a like, and subscribe if you'd like to see more from my channel. Also, if you want to learn more about how I use color and light in my art, check out the video linked on screen here. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!